Hi there, Empowered Mindset community, and welcome to the channel. And again, thanks for joining me. Today's video is a simple tool to help you start setting boundaries, and better said, identifying toxic characters in your life. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If this video has helped, leave a comment below and let us know. Let's begin. We all have that one or two friends who seem to always treat us badly. You know, the one that talks down to you, constantly interrupts you, or even worse, verbally railroads you by interrupting what you have to say with a higher volume and non-stop verbal cannonballing. Every interaction with them leaves you wondering what you did to deserve their harsh treatment. They're dismissive and a little arrogant. Sometimes it's not you. Sometimes it's the work they have to put into themselves, whether it's to do with their own insecurities or catching themselves in their repeated bad manners. Maybe they were taught as a child that speaking over others is okay and acceptable. There's a good possibility they haven't learnt the tools or the techniques on how to become the steward of their own boundaries, and they aren't aware or they ignore the boundaries of others. Maybe they have the inability to let go of frustrations and anger that have them lashing out at you. Well, let me reassure you, we don't have to tolerate this toxic behavior or the choices others need to work out on their own. Let's explore some people who have the toxic traits you should seriously consider self-selecting from, or having a self-selection conversation with. You'll find that in one of the videos on our channel. Let's go. The lazy character, better known as the slacker. We usually experience the slacker in a test in school. They didn't study, they didn't take notes in class, nor did they pay attention or do the homework for the exam. Yeah, you know the one. The mooch, wanting to take credit for your work. This character lacks motivation and foresight. They don't care about ethics or morals. They avoid hard work, and they will only chip in if they think they will benefit from it. They will always take the easy way out. They'll describe themselves as easygoing and go with the flow kind of people. But look out. You'll find you're doing all the work, buying all the lunches, reaching all the goals, only for them to step in at the last minute and take full credit. They will sweet talk you, manipulate you, and do whatever it takes to slack off. They might seem that they care about you, but the only person they care about is themselves, fast results, and who they can cheat off next. Moving on. Next is the railroading character, or jabberjaws. This chatty fellow seems to love the sound of his own voice. He doesn't seem to take a breath between statements, asks questions that he has no intentions of you answering, and continues talking. If you do, summon the courage to speak up, that is, and try to have your say, they turn up their volume and just keep talking, making proclamations they don't expect you to challenge, and if you do, they dismiss you and just keep on chatting. He's the type that you don't want to be caught in a vehicle with on a long trip. Only his opinion matters. He can't help to outdo anything you've brought up. If he hasn't or can't, he'll know someone who has. He's the one that will often find ways of bringing your achievements down and minimalizing your goals. Conversations with this guy are exhausting. You dread any scenario where you might find yourself alone or even in a group conversation with. Because you know, like every other time, he will dominate the conversation, not caring that someone else has a contribution to the conversation. Let's explore the jealous character, or the green-eyed monster. This character is never happy for you or with you when you've achieved something you've worked so hard for. They always have a story or instance where either they or someone else did a better job than you, and in a much faster time frame. Sometimes they will become aggressive and highly competitive. They are always the sorest losers and the worst winners. The jealous types are more likely to talk about you behind your back. They are the ones that start rumors. Jealousy makes it hard for the relationship with them to strengthen and grow. We often find we are downplaying our achievements to make them feel better, or worse still, downplaying our achievements to make sure they don't cause trouble. Ask yourself, is this the energy, mindset, and outlook you want affecting you in your life? I didn't think so. Let's move on to the verbally abusive character, or the angry one. This is anyone who can dish out criticism, insults, and negative judgments. It's the verbal abuser. You don't always have to yell at someone to verbally abuse them. It can be a personally insulting statement or a remark that's said in a number of ways. The bitter abuser will continue to put others down because it's so much easier than working through their own issues. Bringing others down is easier than turning a spotlight on what's going on for them and how they can change for the better. It's pretty hard sometimes, but you don't have to take in what they say. When selecting friends, always be sure you surround yourself with compassionate people who help build you up. The verbal abuser enjoys attacking you, triggering you, and gaslighting you because it makes them feel better about themselves. Once we understand this and not to take what they do or say personally, we're able to cut these people out of our lives and surround ourselves with productive and like-minded, mutually supportive friends. Next is the nihilistic character, or the Debbie Downer. Every once in a while we can feel dejected because life, well, it can get messy, and we can be faced with disappointments now and again. That's normal. We all know of or have come across a Debbie Downer or a suffering Susie in our lifetime. Someone who is constantly down, finding the worst in almost everything, and has a negative mindset. This character will find constant reasons you can't achieve your goals and dreams. They will put a negative spin on something you've just achieved, often resulting in us avoiding sharing anything with them that's remotely positive, and sometimes avoiding spending time with them. Self-selecting from this character is easy and most beneficial in the long run. You won't have to dread interacting with them before you interact with them. Next up is the wallowing character, or the complainer. There is nothing worse than listening to someone complain about their situation repeatedly. The wallower will complain constantly, rather than doing something, anything to change it. This character only sees the negative in their situations and life. Repeated exposure to this character can have a long-lasting and toxic effect on you emotionally. Repeated exposure can lead to depression and anxiety. This toxic character will constantly play the victim, but will never do anything to fix the problem, and it will always be someone else's fault. They refuse to take responsibility for themselves, their emotions, their thoughts, and their circumstances. They don't just complain, they are eternally self-absorbed. Can you think of anyone with these character traits? Maybe you can see some of these traits in yourself. Let us know in the comments below. Thank you so much for joining me today. Remember, you are not your thoughts. You think your thoughts. You are not your emotions. You feel your emotions. The change you wish to see in the world always starts with you. Have a wonderful day.